Thank you. Thank you. Hi, I'm Passant. I co-founded Stamps a bit over 3 years ago, and since then, my life has been absolute chaos, much like a lot of business owners. Do we have any business owners here? Okay, a few. And over the years, I have conversations with people who are not business owners, and they usually ask me, why do I do the things I do? Because it's somewhat unconventional. My uncle in specific, he would always look at me with so much confusion and ask me, why do you do this? Why do you put yourself into so much uncertainty and misery? I mean, I was 19 when I co-founded Stamps. I had no idea then a lot of things. I for sure did not have those answers. At 19, I probably also didn't know much about entrepreneurship and business. Today, at 23, I still don't know a lot, but I've had a good taste of what the entrepreneurial life tastes like. And this is why I don't go into deep in conversation with my uncle about my career choices, because they seem outright insane. At least that's what they look like to an outside observer. But today, I've been giving 18 minutes to talk in front of 300 people about those career choices. So here's the rant that I've been saving up every family dinner. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 phases that I went through personally through my entrepreneurial journey. 3 years ago, I was in Bali, backpacking, traveling around with my backpack, super high on life. I go up to my travel partner, I tell him, let's open a travel agency. I thought it was an amazing idea. It was. Let's open a travel agency. We're going to have our little community of travelers. We're going to travel all around the world. Genius. And this was the start of my entrepreneurial journey. For the next couple of weeks, I was determined to do 3 things. Build a website, have a friend design a logo, and make deals with social media influencers to market our travel agency over social media. That's it. That's all I needed to open a business. And then, in the next couple of weeks, I built a website on Wix, €100 subscription, yearly fee. I had a friend design for us the logo, first draft, loved it. And the third step that was the most I was proud of, we made deals with 12 social media influencers to market our travel agency online in exchange for free trips. At that point, I was so confident that we're going to make sales. Of course, we can give out 12 free trips. And on launch day, I had a flight on that day, I remember. And before the flight, I open Instagram. We'd make an Instagram account. We post a homemade video. And then I go into the flight. 4 hours, no internet, and I'm just waiting. I go off the flight, and I connect to the Wi-Fi in the airport immediately. Open Instagram, Stamps Tours. 3,800 followers. 3,800 followers on our launch day. I felt adrenaline like I've never felt before. Stamps, my little baby, was born that day, having no idea how needy that baby will be. In the next few weeks, we started getting bookings for our travel agency, for international trips. And don't ask me why some random strangers are trusting a newbie travel agency with a 19-year-old owner. But the power of social media, my friends, you can make anything out of nothing with just the right amount of buzz. We rode on that high for a while until COVID hit. And with that, our honeymoon phase ended, our first phase. In weeks, we had to cancel all our trips. At that point, we had no policies to protect us from refunds, and in less than 3 months of operating, we were in huge debt. We were this close to shutting it out. But we didn't want to let go after such a successful launch. And so, as COVID cooled down, during COVID, we did some social media campaigns. We did a campaign for people to reminisce about their old travel days, anything to stay relevant, you know? And as COVID cooled down, we took a road trip to a village in the western desert of Egypt, in a place called Siwa. Such a beautiful, isolated village. The closest thing at that time, the closest thing to a place with no COVID. And at that point, we had a choice to make. we had to change our business model. Initially, we operated international trips for Egyptians because this is a high profit model. But at that point, we could not operate international trips because the whole world shut down. And the only option we had here is to operate local trips. And so we started making wellness retreats in Siwa. Siwa today is our best-selling destination with more than 30 group trips and more than almost 2,000 travelers went to Siwa. And it is where Stamps was born. And I remember I was so resistant to changing the business models and going local. But it's only for this decision that Stamps survived COVID. And this phase, I'd like to call it improv. Because at that point, you probably don't have any idea about what works or what doesn't in your business. I know I didn't. And this is why you're just improvising. I like to experiment with team structuring a lot. One of the favorite things about owning a business for me is managing teams. And I have always been a leader. Since I was young in science fair projects, I always loved being a leader. And so leadership came natural to me, or so I thought. When I was studying, I was a part-time teacher, and so the first hires in Stamps were actually my students. One of my classes, I went and I was like, hey, I'm opening a travel agency. Anyone wants to intern? And I had two excited 16-year-olds, Farah and Noor. They were the first hires. And we started working then. And one of the very important things that I was looking for during that phase of my business is passion. This is the one thing I was looking for. I was looking for young, passionate people who believe that they can do anything. Because at that point, I was 19, opening my own company. I believed I could do anything. Expertise, don't need it. Who needs it? Of course, later I realized I was wrong, but I won't jump to that now. We hired mainly students in the first year, and this is because I really valued investing in young people and building them up in a way that I would like to work in. I was obsessed with building individuals and teams in a way that I would like to work in. And eventually, the business wasn't growing. And I tried to pinpoint what was wrong. I realized it's because I hired creatives and not executioners. And this is because I am a creative and I'm not an executioner. This time humbled me a lot because I came to realize that when the buzz of the business started going out, and then the realities of starting a business starting stepping in, I came to realize that I am not the boss queen I set to myself be on social media, and followers don't necessarily mean sales. And validation does not make you money. And so in the next couple of months, I was trying to figure out why the business was stagnant. And I realized that a successful launch does not necessarily mean a successful business. And it only took me to graduate to realize that the business was stagnant because simply I was not a full-time business owner. And once I graduated and started being a full-time business owner, the business boomed as I was investing 12 hours a day in Stamps. I look back at the time where I was a student and I wonder how was the business ever running with only those few hours that I was spending in. Because only when I was a full-time business owner did I realize that it takes so much investment and time, and only then did I reach obsession. And here comes the fourth phase of my business. I was oblivious that it takes so much obsession and investment in your business. I started looking at business owners around me, and every successful business owner around me was obsessed. They breathed their business. From that, I started investing in myself so much. I was obsessed with what tech models should we put to operate our workflows, which business models work best, which team structures work best. I was obsessed with how much I'm learning and how much I'm investing in myself. And I let go of all that passion crap. I stopped hiring passionate people. I started hiring executioners, machines. I set a standard of work ethic, and anyone who would not come to that work ethic is just out. I let go a lot of my teacher persona, and I changed my mentality around the work ethic that, or the work environment that I was putting in. The work environment that was fluffy, inclusive, and safe, that was beautiful, but it was not working. And I turned Stamps more into a mini corporate where we were hustling, like really hustling. But with that, I grew impatient because I wanted outcome. I wanted to feel all that hard work paying off, and I wanted to feel it paying off now. And that led to heartbreak, the final phase, or the phase that I'm currently in. Because when you have big dreams break hearts. In the last year, I've experienced more heartbreak than in my entire romantic life. And this is because when you put so much on the line for your business, let me take it back a step. If you're working a conventional hourly job, you put in hours, and then you earn. The more you put in hours, the more you earn. But with a business, it's different. When you have a business, you need to put in the hours, put in the work, lead with confidence, assure everyone around you, believe in it in yourself, and only then maybe you win. Most of the time you don't. And when I was graduating, all my friends were looking for jobs, and I would speak with them and be like, oh, Passant, you don't need to stress about that post-grad. You already have a job, you have Stamps. And they were right, to some extent. Having a business does guarantee you some sort of security that a job would never do. But the thing is, my business is a startup. As I'm speaking to you right now, I don't know whether my business will grow to be a successful travel agency around the world, or it will die in 5 years like most businesses do. And that's the thing. You invest your entire life into a gamble because you have a vision. You have an outcome that you believe. But it takes so much to hold on to that belief. And no matter how much of a supportive circle you have or a supportive team you have, no one will get the struggle that you're facing except your work partner's baby. And if you don't have work partners, then this is the solitary journey of an entrepreneur. And so here's the phase I'm in right now. Frustrated, exhausted, business is healthy, great, but I returned back to the question that my uncle asked me. Why do you do this? Why? And it's because I've never experienced anything as nearly as fulfilling as Stamps. Nothing competes. Because of Stamps, I have been challenged intellectually, socially, and physically in a way that I've never before. Because of Stamps, I've traveled to more than 30 countries at 23. Because of Stamps, I've met brilliant minds and entrepreneurs that I learn from every day. And because of Stamps, opportunities just walk up to you. Like, I'm here in Aachen right now giving a talk to 300 people. That's crazy. And because of Stamps, I've had an unconventional and beautiful life that no 9-to-5 could ever give. And I do crave stability, definitely. I do crave certainty. And on low days, I wonder if this is the right choice that I made. But I made this choice, and I believe in that choice. And until I stop believing in that choice, I will vouch for Stamps. And it's a love-hate relationship that I think is worth having. Thank you.